Here's your giant game day. Are you ready to say the Oilers have a goaltending problem?
I think on one side of it, they do. I think Skinner is becoming too inconsistent. I think Pickett's actually been pretty good to his credit. Like he's in his last 5 games at post-Chicago game. The Devils game is the only one I'm looking back on, but the Oilers didn't even score in that game. That's the only game he's had a sub 900 save percentage. I think Skinner's a good goalie, but he's not making the saves they need him to in moments. And it is becoming too much of a problem, I think is fair to say. I wouldn't go as far as saying, like, trade him, get another goalie. Like, you have to let this play out.
Yeah.
But also, he has to make some bigger saves. He just needs that big game against a good team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree? Disagree?
I mean, like, he's had some good games this year.
Yeah.
Just one thing that also is not working in his favor, and it reminds me, like, obviously I call a lot of Golden Bears hockey games, and the games they lose, they outshoot teams. And in the past, this has been more of a thing. They go and outshoot a team 45-22, and they lose 4-3.
That's why I don't like the save percentage.
I know the save percentage thing can be a little wonky at times, because it's like Stuart Skinner, it felt like he faced 4 quality scoring chances in that game, and all of them went in. But they were the only quality ones he faced, because the Oilers did a really good job of keeping the Leafs offense stymied. So here's a fun trivia question.
Here we go.
Save percentage. Do you think Stuart Skinner is doing better or worse than he was at this point last year?
I mean, I would assume worse.
He's doing better.
Awesome.
Last year on November 18th, Stuart Skinner had an 873. He currently has an 877.
I think 873, 877.
3.28 goals against to a 3.39. So better on both regards.
See, let me know what you think of this. I think Skinner has been pretty good for the majority of games.
Yep.
And then just really when you need him the most, he's not there.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it comes down to. And that is the biggest difference between great goaltending and average goaltending. Yeah. And you look back at these games, I thought the Islanders, he actually made some decent saves. Couldn't get the last couple against Toronto. I think ultimately he was fine. But you look at the stats and it's just like not there for him. I think back to that Calgary game as well. I think he was good. I think he was good against Calgary. And obviously the Oilers got the
really
win.
good, man. He made some huge saves down the stretch.
Yeah, you look at the two goals he let in. It's like, what are you going to do? That's why, like, I don't know. I think sometimes you see the games and the numbers won't reflect it. And hey, I'm not trying to defend his numbers. Are not pretty in a lot of categories, but I do think he will be able to bounce back because he's just not like this. He wasn't like this last season.
Well,
no, for like this,
he figured it out
in the sense of he figured it out, but in the sense of like he wasn't unreliable.
Yeah,
I feel like you could realistically see a big save coming every now and then.
High danger save percentage at 5-on-5. There are 22 goalies who have played at least 500 minutes this year. So, I mean, maybe you could extend this a little bit or drop it down and say, let's go 400 and try to get a list of 32 goalies. 35 goalies have played 400 minutes. There you go. That's what I wanted to do for this. Stuart Skinner has the 5th worst high danger save percentage at 5-on-5 amongst those goalies.
Who's worse?
Jacob Markstrom.
Oh,
Jordan Binnington, who is somehow becoming
Canada's number 1.
I don't understand. I was asked today to reply to an email for a little research thing at DFO, like who would your goalies be if you had to pick right now?
Ooh.
And I was one of the only people that I saw in the first replies that didn't say Binnington. And I was like, am I taking crazy pills right now? He's not the best Canadian goalie on his team.
Yeah,
like Joel Hofer is better than him.
I think I would go Talbot, Thompson, and I don't know.
And Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, maybe Fleury. I think the third is who cares, right? Like
I also think Blackwood's making an interesting
Blackwood's
case.
A good one.
But Blackwood, if you go, there's an interesting thing with Blackwood. We're getting so sidetracked, but I'm fine with it. There's no guest today. It's just Liam and I, so we can do this. Blackwood, if you go look at his games this year, okay, there have been 2 games this year where he has faced more than 40 or more shots. Okay,
2
games this year where he's faced 40 or more shots. In those games, he's given up 5 goals.
Okay,
that's pretty fair enough. That's pretty impressive, right? But like 5 goals total.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like
I thought
it's good.
Both. I was like, that's not even that bad.
There's been 1 game this year where he faced less than 20 shots.
Yeah,
he gave up 5 goals. For what? And then the second fewest shots he's faced is 23. He gave up 4 goals in that game. His worst games are when he doesn't face any shots.
Yeah.
I worry about him on a Team Canada.
Yeah, that is an interesting take on thing. It is. Something I've learned over my scouting years is the goalies that face the most shots aren't necessarily the best goalies.
Yeah.
They just face a lot, and their numbers kind of do get padded a little bit. It's those
Golden
goalies
Bears theory.
Yeah, it kind of works both ways. Like they're an incredibly difficult position to read, but yeah, I don't know. Blackwood's a good goalie, but I don't know if he's better than Skinner or will be. They're probably in the same ballpark.
So the goalies who are worse in high danger save percentage are Georgiev, Lankinen, Binnington, Markstrom, and then you get to Skinner at 5th. He's right behind David Riddick. Goals saved above average. Stuart Skinner is 4th worst, minus 4.05 goals saved. So he's allowed 4 more goals this year than he should. People are saying, go make a trade. Go make a trade. Go call up Olivier Rodrigue. And here's the problem with that for me. Calvin Pickard's not a problem right now. Over his last 5 starts, he has a goals against average of 2 and has save percentages above 909. Has been 909 or better in 4 of those 5, and they've won 4 of those 5 as well. And even his air quotes bad game, he gave up 3 to New Jersey, only faced 16 shots, and I think maybe one of those was his fault. The third one was like a Timo Meier in the clear breakaway when the game was basically over.
Yes.
So, I mean, I can't. And yeah, did anyone see JBD? Did anyone see Rodrigue's preseason? It wasn't pretty. No, it absolutely was not. So you're not making a trade. And do the Oilers have a goaltending problem? Yeah, I mean, right now it's not pretty, right? And someone asked who's starting tonight. It's going to be Pickard tonight against Montreal,
which I think is just predictable.
Yep.
Like it's not based off performance. It's just based off schedule. But the question again, because last time we had this conversation, I was at back-to-backs and they had Vegas on Wednesday. Do you think they would go back to Skinner? Well, they'll go back to Skinner tomorrow, obviously. Is it Pickard on Thursday, or does that depend on Tuesday?
It's game by game with these guys right now, I think is what you need to do, right?
And the crazy part about it is, 1, this team's over 500 with everything that's gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 is like, yes, we talk about the goaltending and everything, but like the offense got to help them in cases as well. And I know like maybe 3 goals a game should be enough to kind of close it out most nights. But this offense is capable of averaging 4 a night, and they're just not getting those chances right now. There's a lot of guys who, like, hey, we sit here and Jeff Skinner's been demoted to the 3rd line, whilst Podkolzin, whilst we all love him, has 0 goals. Nuge, he had 2 goals this year.
Yeah.
Hyman's on a bit of a cold streak again. He's only had 3 goals. It's basically just Drexel and McDavid and the odd guys chipping in here and there. Like, this offense has got to back him up, and I think that would help out everybody.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.